colleges face disturbing anonymous comments posted on an app called YikYak.
YikYak.
Called YikYak.
We saw a problem on our campus where there's a select few Twitter accounts.
For later, the app is exploding on college campuses across the country.
Basically every campus in America.
Gen Z will never know what YikYak is.
If you were in school during the mid-2010s, you've undoubtedly heard and even likely used the popular social media platform YikYak. Founded in 2013, YikYak was a social media platform that operated like a location-specific Twitter that allowed you to share posts and comment on posts anonymously within a 5-mile radius. This app took college campuses and schools by storm, as it brought the most social media active demographic all in the same location, allowing for the app to explode into popularity and shoot up to the 9th most downloaded social media app in the United States in just 12 months. During its peak in 2014, YikYak was valued around $400 million, had over 200 million active users, and was featured in Time magazine. YikYak had an incredible premise that hooked users in, but as time went on, it became clear that YikYak was failing to live up to its potential. Just 3 short years later in 2017, the app was shut down. So, what went wrong? In this breakdown of YikYak, we'll go down the road of human psychology, the struggle for free speech, the problems with anonymity, and how YikYak alienated its entire core user base with 2 fatal business sins. This is the story of YikYak. YikYak was founded in 2013 by Furman University students Tyler Droll and Brooks Buffington, originally as a hobby and a way to chat about things that were happening on campus. The app was an instant hit, as word spread around the Furman campus rapidly. Users were able to make anonymous posts that were visible to other users within a certain radius, and because of that, was extremely popular in places where a group of people were densely located, namely schools and college campuses. People loved the anonymity feature and the ability to speak their minds freely. The app quickly spread to other college campuses across the country, and soon it was being used by millions of people. YikYak was more than just an app, it was a movement. It was a symbol of freedom of speech and expression. People used it to connect to others, to share their thoughts and opinions, to start taboo conversations, and to have an open dialogue on a wide variety of subjects without fear of repercussions. Why was YikYak so popular and what made it grow so fast? The reason is one of the pillars of human psychology. It's the same reason all social media platforms succeed. But YikYak turned this up to the extreme. FOMO and relevancy. If you were fortunate enough to use YikYak during its golden era, you undoubtedly realized just how addicting that platform was. I was in college when YikYak was extremely popular, and everyone was talking about it. If you weren't on it, you were missing out, as people would post there about the latest social gatherings, school updates, and have engaging conversations about what was going on around you. It was something that you didn't want to miss. That was one of the keys of YikYak that hooked people in. Social media's main goal is to keep you on the platform. If you've ever been interested in a topic and search for videos on YouTube, you'll notice YouTube will recommend you more videos in that category. Why is that? Because they know that relevant content keeps you on the platform longer. For YikYak, they naturally had that relevance built in, because everything within 5 miles of you is relevant. In school, if you went on YikYak, you would see students posting about dining hall food options, professors, classes, and everything about the school. It was like a one-stop shop bulletin board for the entire school's thoughts, and because it was all anonymous, people could be as honest as possible. I vividly remember people posting about last night's party and even events in real time. If you weren't on the app, you were missing out on hearing what your fellow students thought about something, and that fear of missing out led you to the app. For example, someone would post, "Professor X's class is so boring," and you'd be sitting in that exact class thinking the same thing. Because of this ultra relevance, the content was extremely engaging. Campus after campus across America was talking about YikYak, and it was almost like the next version of Facebook. But unlike Facebook, YikYak would not have anywhere near the success that Facebook had, and with this immense success led to the first controversy in YikYak's young career. As mentioned, anonymity was the defining factor of YikYak, and it encouraged free speech and open communication. But with anonymity comes a double-edged sword. The post quickly devolved into a breeding ground for cyberbullying, hate speech, and harassment. The anonymity feature made it difficult for the platform to control the spread of inappropriate content, and trolls and bullies quickly flooded the site. People would be able to post anything about anyone, and if you've ever been on the internet, you know just how toxic some people can be. People would call out specific teachers and students by name with insults and slander. I could only imagine just how humiliating that could be when you know everyone in the school read something terrible about you. That problem was no more apparent than the open letter written from student Jordan Saman, who was called out specifically for her weight problems. She recounts a student posting on YikYak, "If I could bang a hippo for no finals, I would hunt down Jordan Saman." She let us know what she was thinking the exact moment she read that post. My heart was pounding as I looked around the dining hall. A million things crossed my mind. Is someone watching me? Should I have worn this dress? Did someone see me eat that second cookie? Should I put on my jacket? She continues, "In that moment, all of my insecurities flooded me. I felt exposed, betrayed, and mostly embarrassed. Without telling my friends, I got up from the table and ran back to my room where I hid out for most of the next 2 days." Although Twitter has the same problem with bullying, what made YikYak's bully problem much worse was the proximity. You knew everyone in that radius could see the terrible content posted about you, and chances are, people knew exactly who you were. There's something especially scary about knowing someone posting harmful and threatening content is only within a few short miles from you. People posted threats of violence, which led to extreme controversy and scrutiny from the media and news outlets. Numerous students have been arrested after posting bomb threats on YikYak, including Western Kentucky, Penn State, and several others. Several more students were arrested after threatening school shootings, encouraging racism, and trying to incite violence. That's the double-edged sword of anonymity. People felt more comfortable posting these things on YikYak as opposed to Facebook or Twitter, as there was no username, so people thought the app was truly anonymous. With cyberbullying and threats of violence, this app took headlines by storm as news articles and videos warned parents and schools about this potentially dangerous app. Schools tried to ban the app altogether, with limited success. Despite this, the app continued to grow in popularity as the world was divided on a key issue. Many people believed that anonymity was good for the world. An article from Wired states that although YikYak does have issues with bullying and harassment, it's not any more than any other social media app. The article states, anonymous online bystanders are more likely to intervene when they witness bullying. They also argue that anonymity also affords students the ability to take creative risks they otherwise wouldn't take. Students who contributed online anonymously brought ideas they shared online into class discussions, showing an openness and willingness to be vulnerable that was previously unseen for incoming students. And herein lies the struggle for free speech that we're still divided on to this day. On the one hand, anonymity brings out the worst in people with racism, bullying, and harassment. But on the other hand, anonymity brings out a lot of good as well, with freedom of expression, the ability to share your thoughts without the risk of being judged, as well as having an open dialogue about a wide variety of issues. Most people think that the cyberbullying and harassment is the reason that YikYak failed, but I completely disagree. I believe the issue is much simpler and is at the core of business fundamentals. When Facebook first landed on the scene, there were issues with cyberbullying. Same thing with both Twitter and Instagram. Ever since there has been social media, there has been cyberbullying, and these companies have all thrived. The real reason that YikYak failed has nothing to do with the controversy. As they say, controversy sells, but everything to do with the two fatal mistakes that YikYak made. The first reason was the cardinal business sin. alienating their user base. If there's one thing companies can never do, it's alienate their core user base and core supporters. And that's exactly what YikYak did. In response to the pressure from the media and outcry from schools around the country, YikYak took its first step into self-destruction. In March of 2014, YikYak introduced geofencing, which disabled users from the app while in the premise of schools. This one decision would be the beginning of the end for YikYak, as their core user base was students. Students were the biggest supporters and advocates of YikYak, and in one decision, YikYak told their core user base that they were no longer welcome on the app. The app naturally thrived in school environments where everyone was around the same age, in the same location, and facing the same daily issues. But because of this restriction, it essentially shut off its entire user base. The second death blow to YikYak was removing their unique selling proposition. Unique selling proposition is what your company or product does that no other company or product does. Put simply, it's what makes your product special. For YikYak, it was the anonymity feature. And shortly after geofencing, YikYak required users to have usernames, profiles, and phone verification, making the app lose its perceived anonymity. Millions of users left the platform in droves, as without anonymity, there was no longer a reason to use the app. This one YikYak user summed it up perfectly in this tweet: "You can't post anonymously on YikYak anymore. But wasn't that the whole point of the entire app? LMAO." The founders soon realized their error and reintroduced anonymity, but by that time it was too late. The app had lost its core user base forever. Ex-users mocked the app openly on Twitter, stating, "YikYak was so popular last year at school. This year someone could post their credit card number and no one would know." With the destruction of their user base and the discarding of their unique selling proposition, YikYak will forever be one of the biggest what-ifs in social media history. A few short years after immense success, YikYak was shut down in 2017. Once valued at $400 million, when the app shut down, Square, the financial services app, looted YikYak for its employees for just $1 million, a decline of 99.8%. Unlike some of the prior failed companies we've covered on this channel, YikYak was re-released in 2021, but has nowhere near the user base it had during its original release. If you download the app now, the platform is full of spam posts with almost no comments and close to zero user engagement, a far cry from back in the mid-2010s. And it's not just on their platform. YikYak's Twitter profile has 200k plus followers, but their tweets generate single-digit comments and double-digit likes, with most users commenting on their posts, asking to fix the app, unban them, and calling back to the golden era of the app. It seems that the original YikYak users have not forgotten the fatal mistakes that YikYak once made, and I'm not entirely sure they should. YikYak had a core user base who loved the app dearly and had it ripped away from them. Removing your core users through geofencing and removing anonymity, the primary feature of your product, was too tough to handle for most users and is a problem that YikYak is unlikely to ever recover from. Hopefully YikYak is able to reclaim its success once again and learn from its mistakes, but it'll be a long road ahead. I'm a finance insider who has worked on Wall Street for years, and I'm here to reveal some of finance's biggest secrets when it comes to business models, financial markets, and aim to show you the best ways to make money, manage your money, and use all the techniques the rich and powerful don't want you to know. So if you're interested in business and finance, interested in taking control of your finances, making more money, and being smarter with your money, this is the channel for you.